Evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Bat Around. I'm your host, Paul Valley. With me, as he is every Sunday night, he is Zach Moore of Pigtown Sports. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow Zach over at Pigtown Sports. Is that where they can find you?
Yep.
On YouTube and Twitch? Is that Twitch and Twitter or X, right?
TikTok, X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and whatever.
And go like, subscribe, and follow the Bat Around on Pressbox's YouTube and Facebook pages as well. We certainly appreciate the viewership, the follows, and everybody that chimes in each and every Sunday night. Today's show is brought to you by Help My Gambling Problem. If you or a loved one has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. That's 1-800-GAMBLER or visit helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. And I have a little bit of a soapbox that I want to stand on here to start the show today, Zach, if you don't mind indulging me for a little bit. On the day I was born, the Orioles had an off day. They had won 4 of 5 games heading into that off day. The day after I was born, the Orioles lost and proceeded to lose 12 of their final 18 games of the season. Since the day I was born, September 13th, 1984, the Baltimore Orioles... Yeah. I don't look that old, though, so I'll take it. Since the day I was born, the Baltimore Orioles, including today, are 3,065 and 3,467. They are 402 games below 500 in my lifetime. Good for a 469 winning percentage. In 31 seasons since I was born, the Orioles have posted 13 winning seasons and 1 500 season. They have made the postseason 7 times. They had 14 consecutive losing seasons. In fact, I was at the game to celebrate my birthday, September 13th, 2012, when Manny Machado hit a walk-off single against the Tampa Bay Rays in the 14th inning to give the Orioles their 81st victory. And I remember it being the 14th inning because I said to my friend, that's 14 innings to end 14 years of losing. 15 seasons of 90-plus losses. 4 seasons of 100-plus losses. All of that garbage baseball. And this is the season that's made me reach my breaking point. I am like this close. I'm like this close. Somebody asked me yesterday, how are you a fan? How do you watch them? I was like, well, when I was a little kid, 92, 93, 94, 96, 97, the Orioles were really good. They were really good. They had Cal, they had Brady, they had Mussina, Alomar, Eric Davis, B.J. Surhoff, Scott Erickson. Then you get to then they lose 14 years in a row, but they still had guys. They still had guys like Brian Roberts and Nick Markakis and Adam Jones and Eric Bedard and Miguel Tejada. Then they start winning again behind Jones, Markakis, J.J. Hardy, Chris Davis, Mark Reynolds, Chris Tillman, Manny Machado. I look at this team now. Is there a player on this team that you can say with confidence is even as good as Brian Roberts at his peak?
Should be.
Should be. But are they?
No. I mean, Brian Roberts was a pretty exceptional player at his peak, though.
If Brian Roberts' career had never gotten derailed because of the injuries and the concussions, you're talking about a borderline Hall of Fame second baseman.
Without a doubt, at least in the Orioles Hall of Fame.
Oh, I think isn't he in the Orioles Hall of Fame already?
I don't remember.
I think he might be, but I mean, this was a guy who was averaging 40 stolen bases and 40 doubles a year.
Yeah.
A guy who would hit 280 to 305. He would hit 15 to 18 home runs a year, and he played good defense. He was a leadoff man. He set the table for you. There's not a player on this team that can do what Brian Roberts does. Maybe Taylor Ward. There's not a player on this team that does what Adam Jones did, or Nick Markakis, or Chris Davis at his peak. That's supposed to be Pete Alonso. And, the best is still yet to be seen from Pete Alonso. The whole point is, even when the Orioles were bad, even when they were bad, they had players that you wanted to watch on a nightly basis. Can you say with confidence that you want to go out there and watch guys on this team on a nightly basis? Gunnar finally had 4 hits today. Gunnar had a great game today, and this is that type of game that you see every year from Gunnar that catapults him into a nice hot streak. He'll probably hit 280 plus the rest of the year after today, and I can say that I can say that with confidence. But this team goes from they take 2 or 3 from the Astros and then get swept out in New York by the Yankees. Then they take 2 out of 3 from Miami and then lose 2 or 3 to a mediocre Oakland team at home.
Yeah.
Then they take 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. You're like, all right, now we're going to D.C. We're facing a team in the Nationals that can't pitch, they can't play defense, they can hit, but they're not going to be able to out-hit how bad their pitching is. And you score 5 runs in 2 games against them and lose a series before you even get to the finale against the Nationals. You don't have a team that can do anything consistently except be consistently inconsistent.
Yeah. They're 6-10 this month.
Nothing to build field goal vibes off of.
No.
Gunner's 4-hit game today will probably be followed by Pete Alonso going 0 for 5 with 4 Ks tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the Orioles losing the game 3-1 to Tampa Bay. There is a cancer in this organization. That's the only way I can
there's
describe it.
There's a stink or a stench. I don't know if I'd say cancer, but there's a stench that won't come off. Something.
It's like when you leave your clothes in the washing machine for a day or 2.
Yeah.
And then you put them in the dryer. And at first they smell like the dryer sheets. And you pull them out and they're dry. They feel good. You put them on. You feel like you look good. And then
that's the off season this year.
Halfway through the day, you're like, smell a little bit of mildew. And then you smell your shirt. You're like, oh, God, that's me.
Yeah.
That's what the Orioles are like. They're like day-old wash laundry that you put in the dryer, and they have that hint of mildew to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Baltimore Orioles right now. And I'm 41. I've got 3 jobs. I've got a mortgage. I've got a 2-year-old daughter. And my favorite thing in the world that's not a human being in my family is the Baltimore Orioles. They are my first love, and they have me that close to tuning out.
Yeah.
That close. Not once did I tune out in 14 consecutive years of losing. In 3 straight full seasons with 108 or more losses. Not once did I tune out. I watched the games like maybe Cedric Mullins will hit a home run. Maybe John Means will pitch 7 shutout innings. Looking for that one thing. I'm not looking for one thing anymore. They don't.
It's too inconsistent.
Yeah. The one good thing will be drowned out by the 3 bad things they do starting the next day.
Yeah.
I'm starting the show this way because it breaks my heart and I can't let it keep.
Yeah.
You know? Can't let it keep. Anyway, how are you?
Good. I'm going to answer Moose's thing here. It says, where was I at today for the All-Star game? I was there. I was sitting on the AL side. We had our rec All-Star game today. As you can tell, I'm probably burnt to hell. I got toasted today. I was trying to sit in the shade. Didn't work out. So I got absolutely toasted. But I was there from 11 o'clock till 5. I'm beat in the sun. Fantastic All-Star game for 7-year-olds. It was 27 to 22. It was wild. Dudes were diving and making plays and stuff. It was awesome to watch. But yeah, it's some kind of stench. And you hit it on the head about leaving it in the washing machine, because the dryer kind of symbolizes this off season. We put our clothes in the dryer. We started new. We threw a dryer sheet in there. We thought it'd be great. Pulled it out and it started off, and we're all excited and it smells great. And then here we are in May, in middle of the day, like you were saying, and we stink. We legitimately stink around everybody, and we shouldn't. And it's all a lot of it falls on the pitching. I don't blame anybody for saying that it is the pitching. This offense was supposed to carry the team, and they have stunk.
Yeah,
stunk. They're 6-10. They've only scored more than 3 runs in a game this month? 4 times?
Yeah.
Let me double check that. 1, 2, 3. Today was 4. So 4 times. In 16 games, you scored more than 3 runs 4 times. Cool.
Yeah.
You were supposed to carry this offense and this defense and this pitching staff, and you can't score, can't string anything together. It's today was great. Today was showing what it could be, and this is kind of what we thought our offense would be. But in my opinion, and like I put it in my title, it's probably just another false alarm. And there's nothing that's going to pinpoint what it is, I don't think. And there's a lot of comments here, and I fully expected to read it tonight that it is Mike. I don't think getting rid of Mike right now does absolutely anything at all, because the whole thing is built around that whole idea that worked in St. Louis and it worked in Houston. So getting rid of one guy isn't going to change a damn thing this year. You have to out the entire thing if you want to change. And I don't think the Orioles are going to do that. I really don't.
Well, I'm talking about all these guys that I remember watching, you know, in the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. Did you ever get the feeling watching those guys that they were doing anything other than going out there and playing baseball?
They were just competing in the box.
Yeah.
I don't see guys competing in the box anymore.
There's too much going on in their heads. There's too much going on. What's this guy like? I'll give you a prime example, and this is from me, because I don't have. I played a baseball game today out in the sun all day, and I was facing a really tough pitcher today, and he gets ahead of me in my second at bat 0-2. I ended up getting the only hit that he gave up the entire 5 innings that he pitched. He's ahead of me 0-2. I'm like, he's gonna throw me a high fastball and try get it by me. I take it. Then I'm like, he's going to try and throw me a breaking ball. It's low and away. I take it. Then I'm like, he doesn't want to go 3-2. He's going to throw me a fastball here. Put a good swing on it. He throws me a fastball. I line a base hit up the middle. End up stealing a couple of bases. End up scoring a run. And I'm not saying that to like pat myself, but it's because there was nothing in my head other than play baseball. Know what this guy's going to throw you. Know what he's likely to do. And go play baseball. The Orioles don't play baseball. They get into the box and they think about what they did in their last at bat, that error that they made in the field. And then, well, Sig and Mike said that this guy throws a changeup 10% of the time when he gets ahead 1-0. So I got to be like, just play baseball. It sounds so simple, but it's like see ball, hit ball. See ball, hit ball.
Sometimes baseball can be simple.
It's I understand that if you have technological advancements, you should 100% use them. You should 100% use them. But they were talking about on the radio today. Ben Wagner was saying to Brett Hollander, I don't. All these reverse splits are killing me. I don't know what's what. And it's like, well, because it's baseball. Just because he's left-handed doesn't mean that. He was saying this right after Gunnar had homered off the lefty, and then Basayo gets the base hit off the lefty. And he's like, the two lefties have the 2 hits for the Orioles. It's like, because just because they're left-handed doesn't mean they can't hit lefties.
Exactly.
Just go play baseball.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to put your best 9 out there and just let it roll. And that's what they used to do back in the day.
Did you see Rafael Palmeiro sit against anybody except for Randy Johnson because it was a lefty pitcher?
No.
Cal played 2,632 consecutive games. You think he didn't play against pitchers that he was 1 for 30 lifetime off of?
Pedro Martinez.
Yeah. You have 9 guys on your roster that are the best 9 guys that you could possibly put out there for 162 games. Just play them. Just play them, and you'll win more than you lose if they're that good. You have the talent on the roster, and it's like Basayo, and I get it. He's 21. He's had an injury history. He's got a big body. You've got to rest him. But there was what was this? The series against Oakland, he got 1 start because there were 2 lefties that started.
Yeah.
No, it was the series against the Yankees because they started 2 lefties. Screw that. Put him in the lineup.
Well, I think they said it was right after he got the collision at the plate and his knee might have been okay. Right. Yeah. Look, I don't know if that was an excuse. That's the thing with this team. And look, some of the excuses are valid, and I'll give them credit. Some of the excuses are valid. The injury excuse, like, it sucks to hear about because we constantly hear about it so often. It does make a difference. It does. But some of them are just like, dude, like just admit you kind of stink right now. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's just they're a good baseball team when they want to be. Mm-hmm. When they finally just are saying like, okay, enough's enough, and we just want to be a good baseball team. There's enough talent on this roster to be a good baseball team. Mm-hmm. Now their schedule coming up is brutal, and it ain't favorable at all. if you want to get into it, now's the time. Like, this is your season right here in May. Like, last year we lost it in April. It could be done right here in May. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to finally pull your pants up and buckle that buckle a little bit tighter and say, we're here to be professional baseball players. They are. It's in their body. We've seen them do it. We've seen them do it for other teams. Like, who would have thought Pete Alonso would have came here and stunk?
Yeah.
4 straight years of, dare I say, dominance in the box. Mm-hmm. 4. And then comes here and you know, every slider away just kind of makes him look like he doesn't belong in the big league sometimes. Like, what?
Right.
Kobe Mayo, like, anything on the inner half, he's destroying. Nobody really throws him the ball in the inner half very often. Mm-hmm. You know, a guy we've seen, I shouldn't say we've seen do well in the big leagues, but talent that we've seen hit the ball all over the field. Gunnar Henderson, we've seen this guy put up almost a 9 WAR. You know, got MVP votes. What happened?
Right.
Talent's there. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely there. And we could say it's analytics. That would probably be another excuse, honestly. I just feel like everything involved with this team right now is excuse-based. And I'm trying to be positive about that because, like I said, sometimes they're warranted and sometimes they're not. But it just feels like there's just a lot of, like, and what really, really gets under my skin is we don't really know what's going on kind of comments. That just, we don't know. And I'm like, can we figure out why?
Yeah.
Can we figure out why?
So the stretch that the Orioles are entering, Rays, Blue Jays, Mariners twice, Padres, Dodgers, an O's fan, KY, says the team will be sellers by June 21st. I go back to the end of May 2024. The Orioles had just swept 4 straight from the White Sox, right? And that was coming off getting swept by St. Louis. It was the first sweep since Adley Rutschman had debuted in 2022, right? They sweep 4 from the White Sox. Then they have to go play Boston, Tampa Bay, Toronto, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Philadelphia, and the Yankees. And it was in the midst of playing like 43 games in 45 days, right? What did they do? 2 or 3 from Boston, 2 or 3 from Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
They split a 4-game series with Toronto. They sweep 4 in Tampa Bay, 2 or 3 from Atlanta, 2 or 3 from Philadelphia, 2 or 3 from the New York Yankees.
And we're sitting there. We were a rain delay from sweeping Philly.
Yeah.
Remember that game?
I do.
I was there.
They were 49-25 after that 17-5 victory over the Yankees, and we're feeling like they're the best team in baseball. Mm-hmm. This stretch can make your season. You have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to go out and play. The Blue Jays, they're middling this year. Like they 100% have that World Series hangover, and they have a lot of injuries. The Mariners, they're in a wild card spot. They're playing better baseball.
Their offense is so bad. Oh my God, they're pathetic.
They didn't do anything to address it except for Josh Naylor, right?
Yeah, and he's struggling too.
Yeah. But they can pitch. The Padres are good. The Dodgers are good. The Rays have the best record in baseball outside of the Braves. You have an opportunity. This is the make or break point in the season. Starting on May 18th, it's the make or break point in the season. You can go out there and you can roll over and die, and you can go from 21-26 to 26-41, or you can go out there and you can say enough's enough. Let's play up to our capabilities, and let's go win some. I almost said some effing. Let's go win some effing ball games. Let's go out there and stop being everybody's punching bag and go win some ball games and reinsert ourselves as one of the best teams in the league. They have the ability to do it. The question is, can they sack up and go do it? And that's my big problem. I don't know that they can. I don't know that they have the testicular fortitude to do it.
I mean, I can't argue it because, like, Tyler O'Neill hit 30-some home runs. Like, right? Come here, nothing. Taylor Ward. I mean, he's having a good on-base season. Like, I'm not saying that's bad by any means, but dude, you just hit 37 home runs last year.
Drive the baseball.
Drive the ball, man. Swing the bat a little bit. Like, the whole team's scuffling runners in scoring position. Just swing the bat just a little bit more. You know, I mean, Pete Alonso, 4 straight years of pure dominance in the box, power number wise, runners and scoring position wise. Like, you were dominating baseball. Nothing. Gunnar Henderson dominated baseball. I mean, arguably a top 5 player after 2024. Nothing since. Adley Rutschman took that down. Granted, it might have been injuries or something like that. He's found his footing a little bit better. It's just like we can just keep going down the list here of guys that have struggled. Now, you know, you bring in Tavares, and he's played well. Ramon Laureano, he's played well. You know, you brought Ryan O'Hearn in, and he played well when he did play here.
Had a great year
They seem to bring guys in that perform, but they can't get the guys here to do it. That's what I don't understand. Like, what's the disconnect? And like you talked about, what's the disconnect coming up from AAA and being a superstar that the whole league thinks that you're a great player, and then you get here and you struggle? Consistently, and it's not just 1 or 2 guys. It's been all of them. You know, Holiday hasn't really taken that next best step yet. Kerstad looked good and got hit. Obviously changed his career. Cowser fell off the rails. What? Why?
It's
no one's going to answer that question, honestly.
It's an organizational thing.
Yeah, it's an impossible question to answer.
Yeah.
But it sucks.
O's fan goes on to say, Orioles are cooked, man. Look at the schedule. They will never be above 500 the entire season. They really might be 15 under before July.
It's possible.
And again, it's 100% possible. And can we honestly say that it's not likely based on how this season has gone? I mean, Chris Bassett, anything that you felt good about him after that last outing, where Aiken opened on Mother's Day and then he came in and gave you 6 innings of 1-run ball, he flushed that down the toilet in his last start.
Yeah.
Shane Boston, somebody said that this is all Paul's fault because they've legitimately started to suck from the moment I was born. The moment I was born, they didn't play a game. And
we're trading Paul to the Yankees.
And they're 402 games below 500 since the day I was born.
God darn it, Paul.
It legitimately could be my fault. I was watching the game. I was working in the restaurant the other night. Like I said, I have 3 jobs. I'm working in the restaurant the other night. Shane Baz is cruising. I turned the game on in the 6th inning. He's at 57 pitches. And I say to myself, watch him throw like 30 pitches this inning. He throws 25 pitches and gives up a 2-run homer to take a 1-0 deficit and turn into a 3-0 deficit. And it feels like it's my fault. It does feel like, and for me, it's like, man, maybe if I just don't watch, they'll start playing better. I think I owe it to the fan base to stop watching, but then I can't really do this show if I don't, excuse me, if I don't watch. But look, this is, like, it's their opportunity to put up or shut up, you know, and like you can only say, like I just keep going back to when Albernez said, you know, if you want to write us off, you want to jump off the bandwagon now, that's fine, but don't ask to get back on when we turn it around. You can't say that after this stretch.
You got to turn it around first.
Yeah, like once this stretch is done, we're gonna know exactly who you are.
Yeah,
we're gonna know.
There
exactly
ain't no hiding around it.
No,
this is just it.
Yeah, so it's just, but you know, they won a ball.
I think we start with trading Paul to the Yankees, so maybe we'll get a little bit better. And maybe the Yankees will suck against us the rest of the year. So
can I? Yeah, but I'll pull a TO, and I'll refuse to go.
Oh well, yeah.
You know, you can trade
just
me,
like
but
change your like picture or something to the Yankees, and just like your Twitter bio or something. Just see if they start losing or something. See if it really is you. Then if it's not, you just be like, see what? It wasn't me.
But see, then but then will we ever really know? Because in my heart, will it ever change in my heart? You know. It'll never change. So
we'll have to get a Yankees tattoo on your like forearm or something.
Oh my God, dude! I would literally, like, if I woke up and had a Yankees tattoo, I would take a hot knife and cut it off my body. Oh my God. But look, the Orioles played a game today. They won a game today. They beat the Nationals. What was it, 7-3 today?
For running score position after the final home run.
Yeah, I saw that in one of the comments.
Yeah.
Colton Cowser got off the schneid. He had a piss missile for a home run. Gunnar led off the game with a home run, his first of 4 hits. You also saw Kobe Mayo turn on 94 on the inner half and pound that out. 113 miles an hour, almost 114 miles an hour off the bat.
Can we comment on those specifics right there, though? And I say what is different from this team to last year's team. We didn't see adjustments in season. And I think, we've already seen Kowser's leg kick get adjusted a little bit. You've seen the thing about Bradish's leg kick not coming up as high, kind of getting him a little bit more balanced. You've seen Kobe Mayo be able to start hit some fastballs and on the inner half. Like, they're making adjustments. It's just not clicking consistently throughout the entire lineup. I feel like last year we didn't see in-season adjustments other than swinging at the first pitch a little bit more when I forget the older guy's name came in, John Mabry. When Mabry came in, they started swinging at the first pitch, being a little bit more aggressive. But to see, like, technical changes is what I like. I just wish it came together faster for these guys. I feel like this coaching staff is doing a better job than what we've seen, at least in the last couple seasons. It's just not clicking. But it's good to see individual wins when you are working on something new. It's just all about the entire lineup stacking it together. Colton Cowser could go out and start hitting 300 for the rest of the month, and nobody would know because the whole team's not hitting. Like, you got to get things rolling for everything to kind of start sparking, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah. And then, like, what kind of helped you? We know Jordan Westberg has had elbow reconstructive surgery. He's going to be out the rest of the year. They expect him back early 2027, but I don't expect anybody back early 2027.
So from what I heard, he had the surgery like a week and a half prior to them ever even announcing it. So
really?
He did have it a little earlier than what they said.
And for a position player, he'll be back doing baseball activities in 6 months. He probably won't be ready to start the season, but I wouldn't expect him to miss too much time next year. Now, of course,
it's Westberg though.
It's Westberg, so he'll probably.
I hate to even admit that, but
he'll probably fall asleep watching golf sometime in March next year on the couch, and then wake up with a strained oblique and broken ankle, and we'll be like, "What the hell happened?" And we find out that he sleepwalks and fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
But like, Kobe Mayo is going to get all the run in the world now at third base, especially since Jacob Kalvenmeyer tweeted out that since Kobe Mayo made that error that cost him that game against the Marlins, and that's been 10 games, he's hitting 300 with an OPS over 1,000.
Good.
So he's kind of.
But I'm still a little angry at him for this series. Like, and John Boy put it up there today. Like when he bat flipped the foul ball home run. Dude, we're a bad team, and you've been a bad player. Like, please don't do that. Like, it's one thing if you maybe like just kind of flip it in front of the plate. You don't take the handle and freaking launch it like you're in World War II, like that. Like, what are we doing, man? You're hitting 170. Like, I'm glad that you on camera said I looked like a jackass. You did. You did. Yeah. I'm glad you're playing well, but it's the little shit like that, dude. Like, we're not a good baseball team. Like, don't do that. Maybe win 5 games in a row before we do that. Maybe 2 in a row. 2 in a row would be great.
Yeah.
Just dumb stuff. And they're young guys. But and he might have got it talking to by somebody, which is why he said that. Maybe that's why the camera said it. I don't know. I'm sure one of the older guys said, dude, you look like an idiot. Yeah. Don't do that. But look, it's not just him, and I'm not picking on him for doing it because he's not the only one doing dumb things like that. It's just like let's look like a team that's ready to kind of break out before we start doing stuff like that.
So, do we feel like this is a team that's ready to break out at any point, though? And you're looking at it. Look, Kobe Mayo's not going anywhere because Westbrook's out for the year. You're going to get Jackson Holiday back. When is Holiday coming back? In the next week or two? I can't imagine his rehab's going to last that long. He had a home run, the game-winning home run yesterday. He had a 105-mile-an-hour triple today. He was pulled after 2 at-bats. Now, they lost that game 15-3. Maybe it was just like, hey, look, you had some good. You had a walk, you had a triple, you homered last night. Let's get you out of the game feeling good and not risk injury in a game that we lost by 12.
Yeah,
right? Maybe
he's 4 for his last 13 with a home run and 1 RBI, with 3 walks and 5 Ks.
Yeah.
So better. And some of those outs, too, were hard outs. So at least encouraging. Like, when we've kind of heard he was getting ready to come back, I didn't see any at-bats that made me feel comfortable about him coming back. I mean, they were all strikeouts. Yeah. But if he's going to start consistently hitting the ball pretty hard and going and the big thing was going the other way, having the confidence to go the other way, I'm excited to have him back. Because it's just another consistent guy hopefully, to start penciling in the lineup every day. Are they going to split Jackson Holiday against lefties? I don't think you should. I really don't. You just got to get it done. If you're not doing it with Gunnar that often, I think you need to treat Holiday the same way because he's young. The potential could be there, but you got to learn it. Same with Posada. You got to learn what they can do, and you just got to let it roll.
Yeah, and Charm City Entertainment, our buddy Sean, he thinks he's back by Memorial Day. Rick Arnold says Holiday will be back any day. When he's back, Mayo, I don't think Mayo's going anywhere. He's your backup first baseman. He can play third base. He's got power, so he can run into a fastball at any moment and hit it over the fence. Who goes?
It's a good question because I think they keep Jeremiah Jackson because he plays infield and outfield. So does Blaze. But I mean, who else is available? I don't know. Have they made a move for Beavers yet?
Yeah, it was Maverick Hanley.
Right, so he's available then probably to go down.
Yeah, but is Beaver? They said that it's mild for Beavers. Are Beavers and Holiday back around the same time?
I don't know.
And this is something we kind of buried. Where will Tommy Pham go? Where will Tommy Pham gonna play? Sounds like you still have that Novocaine going on.
Listen, Tommy Pham is the best outfielder we probably have at 38 years old. How bad is that? Like overall, I plays acceptable defense. Mm-hmm. He hits okay. He was hit 240 the last couple of years. You know what? Right around 10-ish home runs, I think, 50-ish RBIs. I think it probably leads our outfield right now, right? In all those categories. So, God, I don't like Tommy Pham whatsoever, but I think he's going to be here somewhat soon, and I think he's going to probably do better than what we have currently.
He's 39 years old. He was 0 for 13 with the Mets. He didn't have a good year last year.
It was 240, I think, and 9 home runs, which is okay. It was better than anybody else we had in the outfield, but
yeah. Well, I mean, Kalser at least hit 15, 16 home runs in 80 some odd games.
Was
no, because it was
Holiday and somebody else retired at 17.
Holiday, Westberg, and Henderson led with 17. And
okay.
I think he had 16.
Okay.
Sean, I don't think anybody thinks that the Orioles are going to DFA Blaze Alexander.
No,
he's here for the foreseeable future, in my opinion.
Somebody said Pham fits right in with the rest of the emotionally immature team. I can't disagree.
Yeah, that's the thing is you've got
there's points I think he could help at times because he's been there, he's done that. People do say he's pretty decent in the clubhouse, but it's like if one little thing goes wrong, I don't know. I think he's going to help because it can't get any worse. Yodi has played well. Chalk him in as one of the guys that has come here and played well. Throw it in the list of the pile here. So, but Tommy, I don't know. To me, that says somebody's hurt. And then number 2, if you're not going to bring up one of the young guys, the next guy in line was Ryan Noda. We remember that guy last year. Who played first base.
Yeah, he's still in the system.
Played center field today. That's where we're at in AAA.
To answer this question, by the way, 47-1. That's it happened one time this year. 47-1.
Good odds.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, man. I reached out to you on Tuesday, and I was like, Reed Trimble homered today.
Yeah, I think it's hurt.
He's homered in 5 of his last 7 games. He's fast. He's 61 for 61 in stolen base attempts in his minor league career. Do you think we see him? And you're like, he can't stay on the field. Literally the next day, after I tweeted that out, literally the next day, Rock tweets out that Reed's going to sit out a couple of games with hamstring soreness. And it's like, my God, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody in this organization is made of glass.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even when I played, I will say, and the same guys aren't here, so the Orioles were so much slower than the Marlins at getting guys back on the field. Mm-hmm. It was like they wanted to make sure you were healthy, and I'm just like, dude, I'm good, but they didn't care. The Marlins were like, good, all right, get your butt back out there before you lose your spot. The Orioles were like, no, you hyperextend your elbow. It's going to be about 5 weeks. And I'm like, I need like a little bit of ice and I'll be good in like 3 days. Like, what are we doing here 5 weeks? Like, I had to do like stick my arm in the rice bucket and move it around to strengthen my forearm. All sorts of crap. And I had a fractured ankle with the Marlins, and they would just tape me up every day. You good? You need a shot? Nope. Okay, get out there. Like, It was wild. It was a completely wild difference. But back then, Marlins were one of the top, minor league systems, and the Orioles weren't. And then obviously that script, I think, flipped over the years. But I just feel like the Orioles in general have just been slow as crap over the last 20 years of getting guys back on the field.
Yeah. Well, maybe I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. To answer this question, Adit, have you seen what Big Christmas is doing in the minor leagues? He's hitting 123 at Norfolk. That's why he's not here.
And he
that's why
doesn't
Jonathan,
play as good as defense.
Yeah, that's why Jonathan Rodriguez came up before he did. He's hitting 120 at AAA.
In the hitters league.
Yeah.
Like it's meant for hitters.
So, does Jackson Holliday help this ball club? Does he make him better? And
is he a leadoff when he comes back? That's a better question.
Yeah, does he bat leadoff? Does he bat ninth?
Because you got to think that they probably had him penciled in to be a leadoff, and then all the plans got shaken up, and they were like, well, let's just go with the guy with the next most at-bats, which was Taylor Ward for a while. You had to think he was probably in the conversation.
I imagine that he was, but then I don't, and that's the thing. I don't know what to expect. Else I haven't done. I haven't read any other reads in 40 minutes.
It's okay.
But tell that to our sponsors. But that's the thing. Like I don't know what to expect out of Jackson Holliday. Like is he going to come up here?
Great in a 2-hole.
I mean,
let Ward keep leading off and let him get in a 2-hole. Let Gunnar hit where he should be in a 3-hole, and have Pete hit 4-hole.
I mean, and that's the thing is like I know that last year they wanted Jackson to be more aggressive. Their philosophy with Jackson was be more aggressive. You're taking too many pitches. Get aggressive early in the count.
Which was wild because he set records getting on base while still hitting, and then he gets there. Obviously, we want you to just change it all up. Don't worry about what got you here. Just change it all up when you get here. And just start swinging early. First pitch. All the time. Doesn't matter where it is. Like, what? Why?
And that's the other
Let the kid get his feet wet.
You've got once you get Holiday back, you've got 4 guys in your lineup that have an elite eye. Right?
Yeah.
You've
and
got
they were
Holiday.
Also all first-round picks.
Right. Or 3 guys.
Close.
You've got Rutschman, you've got Holiday, you've got Taylor Ward. 3 of your first 4 guys in your order are guys that can get on base. So I'll be dead honest with you. I think Pete has a good eye when it counts, but he's aggressive obviously to hit the ball at the ballpark. But when it's a 3-2 count, like he's looking for his pitch still. Yeah. He's got a pretty decent eye. So I just want guys that can work at bats. When I see Taylor Ward up, even if I don't have confidence that he's going to put bat to ball right now, I have confidence that he's going to see 5, 6, 7 pitches. And more often than not, it feels like he's going to somehow find his way to get on base.
I want more Dustin Pedroias. Do you remember those annoying ass at bats that he would take here? He'd come up against Chris Tillman, 15 pitch at bat, 12 pitch at bat. And we're like, come on. Right? Chris Tillman had to come out in the 4th, 5th inning.
Yep.
They need more Dustin Pedroias.
Yeah, guys that
wait for a mistake, hit the mistake out of the ballpark, because that's what you like to do. But you can just literally foul and flick a ball off. You can. If it's a nasty-ass slider, then let's just flick it off. Let's wait for that mistake fastball, because you got to throw one eventually. Or let's make for that slider that slips out of his fingers just a little bit and hangs over the middle of the plate. You need more of those guys.
Right.
You really do.
Mark, but that's what we're saying, though. Zach was just saying some stats. He's 4 for his last 13. That includes a homer, a double, a triple. He's got 3 walks in that stretch to 5 strikeouts, but still, that's 7 times on base in his last 16 plate appearances. So he's starting to round back into form. Stanley, why should Holiday lead off? Does he have a high on base percentage? He walked more than he struck out in his minor league career.
He
he was
set Norfolk's record for the most walks in a season. It was like
yeah.
78 or something like that.
Yeah, he was an on base machine in the minors, and he gets up here, he struggles to start, and then they were saying you're not being aggressive enough, and then all he's doing is swinging out of his shoes at the first pitch. It wasn't until really like late August, early September that you saw Jackson get back to being the hitter that made him the 1-1 draft pick, where he's got an elite eye, waits for his pitch, and like Zach said, you wait for your pitch, you foul some pitches, and when you get that mistake, you don't miss it. You know, keep in mind the kid's still only 22 years old.
Yeah.
He's 22 years old. Stanley says Holiday is more Adam Dunn. There's nothing about Jackson Holiday that's Adam Dunn.
He struggled his first year. I think we can all agree with that. It was a lot of home run or nothing, a lot of try to pull the ball only. I'm not going to disagree there. He struggled, but I think there's more. Let me backtrack. We've seen a lot more at a lot of these guys in AAA, and they've come here and not done anything. So I digress. I guess I can't really say anything until they prove it here. Because Cowser was an on-base machine and a doubles machine and hit the ball the other way, and I don't know what the hell happened. I don't think he does either.
Cowser is the most confounding one to me. By the way,
Cowser was probably the most complete hitter we've had in a while coming up through the system.
Mm-hmm. I remember when he got called up in 2023, he was hitting 330 at Norfolk. He was hitting 330 with like
20-some home runs, right?
Yeah. He gets called up, and he had a couple of hits his first couple of games, and he went into a terrible stretch and got demoted. And he got demoted, and his batting average dropped 30 points at Norfolk. With Cowser, I really do believe it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
I 100% believe it's a mental thing. I think that he's gotten hit in his head that he can't hit anything off speed. And like you said, he closes his eyes when he swings. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I will say, whatever Basayo is doing, just tell everybody else do the same thing. All these young prospects, like just watch Samuel Basayo take his at-bats. That dude just hits.
He might just not listen to anybody. No English. Who knows?
That's a great point. Like, maybe you got to be stubborn and just say, yeah, coach, yeah. And then just go play.
He's been stubborn. He got yelled at a couple times this year for it.
Go play
He's
your
a stubborn dude, which I don't mind. But yeah, I mean, when you make mistakes, he's making you pay for it, which is what a big league hitter's supposed to do.
Oh, man.
I mean, we've seen a lot of I forget who I was even watching the other day, and it was it a two-seamer at 88.9 miles an hour, center cut, about belt high, fouled off and out. And I was just watching game day, so I didn't really see how much movement on it was anything. And I think it was a lefty versus some kind of righty, and I can't remember who it was. And I remember sitting there looking at it on my phone. I'm like, did you really just miss a center cut 88.9 mile an hour fastball? Two-seamer, obviously. So it was a sinker, but. And I'm just like, holy crap. Like 5-10 years ago in 2016, you missed 88.5 mile an hour, center cut, belt high. You were probably going back down to Norfolk that night. Like that just didn't happen. Big leaguers don't miss that pitch, but maybe 1 out of 100 times. But it's been the story of the Orioles this year.
Today's show brought to you by Warnken Law. When you need results in Baltimore, you don't play small ball. If you've been hurt in a crash, call 443-RESULTS or visit warnkenlaw.com. That's 443-RESULTS or visit warnkenlaw.com. Today's show also brought to you by Glenn Clark Radio. If you missed anything from Glenn Clark Radio this week, including conversations with Ravens rookie tight end Josh Cuevas, Fox Sports Chris Broussard, and more, you can find them in the Glenn Clark Radio Week in Review feature at PressBoxOnline.com. And as always, watch or listen to GCR every Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. at PressBoxOnline.com/radio or right here on PressBox's Facebook and YouTube pages. Let me see here. Do you believe that they've mismanaged Jackson Holiday's career?
I can't answer anything, man.
Because Richard Dykold says, I have zero expectations when it comes to Holiday, mostly because of how they've mismanaged his career, but until the philosophy of Elias and his cronies has changed, nothing will change. I don't know how you mismanage his career, because look.
I think I get what he's saying about, like, you know, him being like a contact guy and more of an on-base guy, and then they were like, well, we want you to be a little bit more aggressive kind of thing, like kind of changing things, and then switching his position. Like I can understand it. I definitely understand the question. But I think it falls in line with just baseball. Like sometimes they just move you because they think you're better elsewhere.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say mismanaged, but I would say like maybe tinkering too much. But that is not just him either. It's a lot of guys.
Yeah.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
I really believe it's offensively that they have this belief. They believe in analytics so much that there's no feel for the game.
Let me ask you why though. For real. Because this analytics, it worked a lot in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
They were dominant. Their drafts, dominant. Go to Houston. What did they do? Dominant. For a long time. Their drafts, home runs. You get here, 2019, 2020, home runs, right? Drafts were perfect. You get up and you win. Everything was perfect in 23. The end of 22, 23, first half of 24. What happened? Like this was a philosophy and an entire knowledge of baseball that worked going on 10 years for 3 different ball clubs. And now it's not. Now, I've asked this question before. Was their philosophy reverse engineered and made better? Or did everybody else just catch up and just keep going? What the hell happened for something that worked and was so successful to fall off a cliff here? Outside of the injuries. Injuries happen, and they've happened a lot here, and I really get it. But what the hell happened?
And 19 guys on the IL right now, to this point in the season, 13 currently on the IL. So a lot of injuries after they had 30 guys last year. Jackson Holiday was the only one that didn't spend time on the IL, right?
But I'm not just talking about the big league team. Like, remember, when this was all working, Norfolk was unbeatable. Bowie was really, really good. Aberdeen was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
They're all still have quality players, and they do pretty decent. But it wasn't like it was. Like, everything fell off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Why? This was so successful for so long.
Well, they graduated a lot of players. They made big mistakes in the first round in 23 and 24, I think. I mean, it's like drafting Billy Rowell and Matt Hopgood, right? like
I played with Hopgood. Love the guy, but
it's you draft Enrique Bradfield Jr. in the first round.
Billy Rowell set this franchise back a while.
Yeah,
a while.
Oh, I know he did. I know he did.
And Hopgood over Chris Sale.
Mm-hmm.
Go because of money.
I think it was. Didn't they take Billy Rowell over Mike Trout?
Yep.
Like,
but for what scouts said, Billy Rowell was supposed to be like the next best thing.
Mm-hmm. And I get it, big third baseman with a ton of power, but
yeah,
he had a lot of off the field issues from what I heard. But I guess that's true.
Not commenting.
But you look at what they did in 23. You take Enrique Bradfield, who couldn't hit 300 in college, and you take him in the first round. You basically took a fourth outfielder with a first round pick, and then the next year you take Vance Honeycutt, who's striking out 52% of the time right now at high A.
To be fair, if they figure that out, that's a superstar talent. Superstar talent. He does everything. Power, speed, great arm, elite defense.
Strikes out. He does everything.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, could somebody else have made him an elite superstar?
Well, I look at the organization that their inability to develop, right? Because they don't draft starting pitchers. They don't draft and look at all of these other organizations. I mean,
what happened with Nolan McLean to not sign him in the third round?
I don't know.
They failed his physical.
I don't know. And now he's out there dominating.
Right.
He's out there dominating with the Mets. I mean, Vance Honeycutt, 196 with a 695 OPS, 49 strikeouts, and 92 at bats, 104 plate appearances.
That
I
must means
mean,
he got up there then. If he's up to 192, he must have had a pretty good little stretch here. Or
let's
did he
see.
fall off? I thought he was like way down there for a bit.
The strikeouts have gone down because he was at like 57 strike. I'm sorry. He was at a 57% strikeout rate. So
He's kind of hovered around Mendoza. I thought he was really down for a while, but no, he's been kind of hovering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got 15 Ks this month, only 2 walks.
Yeah.
In 32 at bats, so yeah, I mean 50-something
But
still.
You look at all these other teams where they have these top prospects, and they have these top prospects, and they hit the ground running at the big league level. When does that ever happen for the Orioles? You saw it with Gunnar, and that was about. And even then, he had his. And these guys will have their struggles. They'll have their struggles, but they show like. We didn't see it from Holiday until he came up the second time and he hit that grand slam against the Blue Jays. We didn't see it from Kalser. We saw it from Westberg. We saw it from Gunnar. They're probably the 2 best players on the team. One can't stay on the field, and one is off to the slowest start of his career.
Do you remember Evan Carter for the Rangers
Yes.
in 23 when he came up and it was just a monster?
Mm-hmm.
Terrible now.
Yeah. I mean,
why?
I can't tell you. Well, the league adjusts, and then you have to adjust back. And it's the inability to adjust back. I can't tell you when with the Orioles why they went from, basically 2.5 solid seasons from 2022 to the mid 2024, just doing great things in the minor leagues, doing great things at the big league level, and then they fell off a cliff. I can tell you that the big league level.
Do you think they know?
I don't think they know, because I think if they knew, they'd fix it.
Mike saying it was puzzling scares me because I don't think they know.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't.
But
and you look across. I mean, they're doing early work. They're doing late work. Right? They're trying this. They're trying that, and it just ain't working.
Right.
I'm puzzled myself, but to hear your GM say that, oh God, it's not good.
Right.
Because honestly, he's never failed. Never failed. And it's not like this was his first job kind of thing, and this is the first time he's implemented this thing, and it started hot, and teams no, this is like year 14. That model worked, but now it's fallen off. So yeah, to him it is probably puzzling, which it just sucks to hear, because this literally probably what their model is right here changed baseball, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but I mean, everybody's doing it. But what they did in St. Louis changed baseball.
But then you also look at the league right now. You look at the league right now, and it's not in the National League. Yeah, there's teams with better records than the Orioles that are out of the playoff picture right now, whereas the Orioles, standings right now.
Good thing that was baseball, not something else.
Yeah, I know, right? The Orioles right now are a game and a half out of a wild card spot at 21-26, despite having the worst run differential in all of. No, they don't have the worst run differential. Where were people getting that from?
I think they did for a bit.
They said that after their loss yesterday, they had the worst run differential in baseball. But
was it maybe from May or something?
The Astros have a negative 51 run differential. The Angels have a negative 60, and the Orioles have a negative 44.
Yeah.
I mean, what was this? What was the score in their games? Let me see. Astros lost 8-0. So if the Orioles won 7-3, they won by, and the Astros are at negative 51, which means they were at negative 43. And the Orioles had a worse run differential than the Astros yesterday. And the Angels lost 10-1, so that makes sense. But
I mean, for like the month of May, dude, we're leading the league in strikeouts. Mm-hmm. That was going into today's game, obviously, but
well,
142. Last year we only had 123 at this time, which was 14th.
Yeah,
and they have 142 now leading the league.
Well, I'll tell you that for the Orioles at the big league level, I think Rutschman falling off a cliff. I think that the offense went as Rutschman went, and I
Yeah.
also had a huge issue with Tony Taters hitting third or fourth every day because you're talking about a guy who hit 230, and if he didn't hit a home run, he didn't do much. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like, it's I feel like the offensive philosophy was we have a bunch of guys who can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Just try and hit the ball out of the ballpark. By the way, did you see Grayson got roughed up today?
Color me shocked.
Yeah, three. What was it? 3 1/3 innings pitched,
7.
7 earned runs
Yeah.
on
Color
7
me
hits.
shocked.
Yeah.
Alec
Um,
Manoah and him, like, come on. Like, you had to know this was coming. Dude, what's kind of funny is, like, I remember talking about the guys at work when I watched Alec Manoah's first start, and he didn't throw the ball over 90 miles an hour, but yet only gave up 2 hits. And I'm like, what? And all his stuff plus was well below 90. And I'm like, 2 hits? I'm like, he's got to get obliterated the next start, and he did.
yeah. It's like
He
that time
absolutely did.
when Chris Tillman couldn't throw above 89, and he had a
Yeah.
7 inning one hitter against Detroit
Yeah.
back in 2017.
Yep.
Because they just aren't expecting that. They don't know what you're giving them, and then they adjust. But I mean,
Yep.
do you think we need to stop swinging for the fences all the time and have more quality? Well, yeah,
Quality contact, yeah.
yeah. I don't feel like they're always swinging for the fences though. I think Adley's really cut down on that.
Yeah.
Ward doesn't do that. I mean, Alonso just swings. Alonso's just a caveman. You know what I mean? Just goes up to he's Captain Caveman. Just goes up there with a club and just swings and the ball goes a mile off his bat.
Yeah.
I think Kobe Mayo's entire offensive game is hit the ball hard, and watch it go. So should he stop swinging for the fence? But then you also risk him losing his identity as a hitter, you know. And not that he really has one right now, but like if he's not a home run hitter, then what is he? That's what he's always been touted as. I don't think Blaze swings for the fences. I think Basayo swings for the fences when he's in a home run situation. But I think Basayo has great bat control, knows how to put the bat on the ball, and if he just needs a base hit, he gets a base hit.
Yeah.
Right? So and Gunner's swing has looked better to me recently. Like Gunner's swing to me has looked like he stopped trying to just drive the ball over the fence every time, and he's been taking better at bats.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he had an 0 for 13 stretch before that before he had 2 hits to end the game the other day, I just feel like his at bats the last week or two have been a lot better.
Yeah.
You know. Let me see. Today's show brought to you by the latest edition of Press Box, which is available now. On the cover, Bill Ordine looks at how Preakness will be. Well, the Preakness already happened, but how the Preakness will be different moving forward as it returns to Pimlico. Also inside, Luke Jackson looks at what Trey Hendrickson brings to the Ravens and much more. But be on the lookout for the new print issue for free at your Baltimore area High's dairy stores, and also read it at PressBoxOnline.com. I feel like I'm losing my voice. Does it sound like I'm losing my voice to you? I feel like I can feel it.
Not just yet.
But so yeah, Holiday coming back. People are talking about Heston Kjerstad. Do you think Heston Kjerstad has any chance of getting back here and being a productive player?
What other outfield's hitting? Now, granted, you're putting yourself in the same situation with the defense. But the one thing that's really holding this team back right now, obviously, is offense. The problem with the defense is one little mistake is going to really hurt this pitching staff because they're walking on eggshells. But it's a compounded thing. Offense isn't hitting, so when you do make a defensive mistake, it's magnified because you're allowing a run or two, and it's just 2 runs seems insurmountable at times. So I think that all kind of points back to the offense. But if you can get a guy coming up here and actually hit a little bit, I mean, look, you've seen bad defense in both corners between Beavers and Ward. I mean, what the hell's another guy while Beavers is out?
Right.
Give me a bat.
Yeah, but I mean, the bat's got to get going first. He had 2 hits today. That was nice, you know. But I gotta see. I think Kjerstad stays in the minors for the foreseeable future for this season. Anyway, I don't know how long for this season he stays in the minors.
Have time to keep him down there.
But I don't think you can bring him up until he actually earns it this time.
Yeah.
You know, like a couple of years ago, he showed up because he had 13 home runs in April. You know, like he was demolishing baseballs. And then he gets to the big league level and he's demolishing baseballs, takes 97 off the dome, hasn't been the same since. I don't think you can bring him up until you see him demolishing baseballs again.
Yeah.
You know, like, is there a player on this team that's hated more than Tyler O'Neill?
Cowser.
I don't think people hate Cowser.
Oh,
I
they
think
do.
I think people are so damn frustrated with Cowser because I think that the talent is undeniable.
Yeah.
The talent's undeniable, and he just can't put it all together. For me, you've seen it happen at the big league level 3 or 4 different times for Tyler O'Neill. Like, he had a higher WAR than Bryce Harper in 2021 when Harper won MVP.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing every day. He hit a home run yesterday, but it was a solo shot. He just doesn't do anything well at this point in his career. His defense has been better. He's made some solid plays, some solid throws, but like,
Yeah.
he's not the dude that you should be giving $17 million to. You know,
Yeah.
so like, for me, I think that most frustrating player hands down is Colton Cowser and then Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah.
But the most hated player on this team has got to be Tyler O'Neill by a landslide. This is a great question. What can we expect from Trevor Rogers versus McClanahan?
Either a lot of strikeouts or a high-scoring game on our end against us.
Yeah.
And what
Trevor-
the hell happened there?
Well, Rogers is one of those guys where his stuff isn't like elite, right? He's a command guy.
Yeah.
And I was watching him pitch in his last start, and it just looked like he was just slinging the ball across the plate. Like, he was starting out here and the ball's ending it towards the other batter's box. It looked like he had no command of anything. You know, for Rogers to be effective, he's got to have pinpoint location and he's got to have command, and he doesn't have that right now. So and then that's why you're like, with 2 strikes, he's putting the ball right down the middle and giving up base hits. And then but the other problem is when he does make that occasional good pitch with 2 strikes, they're putting a good swing on it and getting a good base hit. You know, that's what's been so frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just God, I don't. And a lot of it too, I think the game planning for the pitching is bad, in my opinion. Like, I put it up on Twitter the other day, like the home run that Shane Baz gave up on a 3-1 or a 1-1. I'm sorry, it was an 0-1. The knuckle curve down and in to a lefty. Was it Fine or what's his name? Fine, something like that.
Yeah.
I forget his name for the Nationals. Anyway, pretty good hitter, but still. I looked up, it was like almost 40% of the time he threw a knuckle curve in an 0-1 count. Like,
so
all you had to do was
on
sit on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, some guys trust themselves with 2 strikes, and guy was probably sitting on it, and it was in a great spot. Like, are we killing ourselves here? Because 40% of the time is a lot. Like, it's a lot for an 0-1 count. Like, it's not like it was an 0-0 count or something like that, or maybe with 2 strikes. Like, no, it was specific to 0-1. 40% of the time, he came right back with a knuckle curve. Like,
which is one of his nastiest best pitches.
right. But, like, you're telegraphing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've quietly said this to a couple people over the years. I'm not the biggest Adley Rutschman in-game pitch calling fan. I think he's too predictable at times. I think overall he's a quality player, but I just think the in-game pitch calling, and I don't know if that's because of what they go over with the game planning before the game or what, but to me it's just predictable too often. And like, I can sit on my couch at times and be like, all right, here comes a fastball. Here, there's the fastball. And I'll say, like, you should probably throw him a changeup right here. And I'm thinking myself as a catcher, and then there comes a fastball, and I'm like, dude, why would you throw a fastball in that count again? Like, and they give up a 2-strike hit. Like, it's just little things like that. And I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy in the world, but if I'm sitting here on my couch and I know what you're about to call as a catcher, and then it comes and a guy gets a hit off of it, like, dude, I couldn't hit in the minor leagues. These guys are good. Like, they know what's coming, and it's easy to hit for them. Like, are we too predictable at times? And I feel like sometimes yes. Now, obviously, sometimes no. because the game plan does work for certain guys. But I feel like sometimes they get a little taken advantage of there and they get caught up in the moment. And it's just like, what do I call? Let me go with what's his best pitch. But obviously they know that's the best pitch and they're expecting it. But I don't know. It drives me nuts sometimes.
How many home runs has Boz given up on the knuckle curve this year?
I haven't looked.
That's what I'm wondering. Maybe they're like, we throw it this much because it's such a nasty pitch that we're like, okay, you hit it, you earned it.
Right.
Type of situation. But 40%.
I'll look it up here real quick. Yeah.
40% of the time that
In
you're
just an 0-1 count.
just an 0-1 count, you're throwing that knuckle curve.
Yeah.
Like
it was weird.
Yeah, that's
he's given up
high.
2. But he's given up 307 average against that pitch this year.
Really?
With a 507 slugging.
See, and that's what I don't understand is you said that the big problem has been the offense and underperforming. I look at this team and I say, Shane Boz has 5 pitches he can throw for strikes, and one of them is a near triple digits fastball. Yeah. And he's getting lit up. Chris Bassett has a career 3.66 ERA coming in, and he's getting lit up. Trevor Rogers was the Orioles' most valuable Oriole. He had a 1.81 ERA last year. He's getting lit up. Mm-hmm. You know, you miss Dean Kramer right now. You miss Dean Kramer. Bradish has finally started to put it together. But when only one guy in your starting rotate, and your 5th starter is Brandon Young. Yeah. And credit to Albarnez being like, you know what, we got to win this game today. This is a big situation in the ball game. We don't want to lose this lead. Let me go get him out of there. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get that. And Nunez only threw 17 pitches, and Tyler Wells only threw like 19 pitches in 2 innings or whatever. Brandon Young's one of your 5 starters, and as good as he's been this year, he's not, in my opinion, a big league rotation piece.
Yeah. But like Boz has done the knuckle curve 52 times in an 0-0 count, and the guys they're 5 for 10 off of it. Like 5 for 10 with an 0-1 or 0-0 count. Mm-hmm. They're 3 for 6 in an 0-1 count with a home run and a double. Like they're sitting on it. Maybe it's not as good as we thought this year. It was. It used to be.
But isn't that the story of the year for the rotation?
Yeah, they're 2 for 7 against him in 0-2 counts with a double and just 3 strikeouts. Mm-hmm. Just 3 strikeouts.
They can't seem to put guys away.
No, why? The game plan, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's given up. They're 11 for 50 with 2 strikes on the knuckle curve, which is okay. They got 5 doubles and a home run, 21 Ks, which is fine. They're hitting 220 against it. Let me see if he's ahead in the count. Let's do 3-1. How often do you throw it in a 3-1 count? Twice. Great. It's one of your best pitches, but what does he throw fast? Is it a 4-seamer or is it a sinker?
What? It's a
4-seamer, right?
Yeah, it's a 4-seamer.
Let's see how often he throws that in an 0-1 count.
If it's a sinker, we have bigger problems because that ball ain't sinking.
0-1 count. He's thrown it 23 times, and they're 2 for 5 against it with 2 doubles. Let's see how he starts off in a bat with it. Starting in a bat, they're 6 for 10 with 3 doubles and a home run.
None of these numbers are good.
No.
Against any pitch.
No.
I'm still waiting to see the game where Boz gives you 7 innings of 1-run ball.
With 2 strikes, they're hitting 197 against it, with 13 Ks in 29 at bats.
Against his 4-seam?
Yeah. So it's like whatever they're calling game plan early in the account, these guys are all over it. Mm-hmm. But when they get to 2 strikes, his stuff is good enough to get you out. Mm-hmm. Problem is he can't get you out early.
Yeah.
Why? Game plan, in my opinion. Pitch calling. Something all around that together with Kyle Bradish, Trevor Rogers, and Shane Boz is not working. In my humble opinion. I could be completely wrong here, and I probably maybe I'm out of line for saying it, but I'm saying it anyway. Something is wrong.
Well, this is what we spent the last 15 minutes talking about last week. Is the game plan is clearly incorrect. They're throwing way too many fastballs to start counts. It's clear that Shane Baz, when he gets to two strikes, that fastball plays. So I mean, like, you're trying to hit 99 with two strikes because you're looking for something else. You're not hitting that.
Yeah.
That's why they're striking out so much. So just, but that's the problem. If you're not
Here's a
getting
stat for you, and this is going to make you puke. On an 0-0 count, Trevor Rogers, Shane Baz, Kyle Bradish. Teams are 29 for 72 against them with 9 doubles and 3 home runs. Hitting .403 with a .653 slugging. On the first pitch of an at-bat. It's a game plan problem. You're not even getting a chance to put these guys away with 2 strikes. That's crazy.
Here's something to think about. How bad have the Orioles been since Chris Holt left?
It's been rough. They're hitting 201 when they hit 2 strikes with those 3 guys. 201. They have 124 Ks and 264 bats. So you're striking almost 50%. Is that right? There's no way that's right.
I feel like those numbers are probably similar for a lot of pitchers.
42% strikeout rate when you finally get to 2 strikes, but you're giving up almost a 500 average on the first pitch.
So not 0-2, just 2 strikes in general.
Just 2 strikes in general, which I think I think that's acceptable.
Yeah. I'd say almost 50% of the time you're getting a strikeout when you get 2 strikes.
But your top 3 arms are getting annihilated on the first pitch. Why?
Well, I mean, you said right there that when it's 0-1, Baz is throwing the knuckle curve 40% of the time.
Yeah.
Teams are probably looking at it and they're saying this is his get me over pitch to start out the at bat when he needs to throw a strike.
Let's just do curveball group in an 0-1 count. Those 3 guys throw it 30% of the time.
30% of the time?
Yeah. But
On
that's a
pitch?
curveball. No, in an 0-1 count. That's a
Oh,
curveball group. Maybe we can do breaking ball group because not everybody throws a curveball.
Randall, we were just saying that Baz's
go.
strikeout pitch is a fastball with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
He's saying it shouldn't be. No, I mean, he's getting 13 strikeouts on 29 at bats when it's 0-2.
Yeah.
And he throws a fastball.
So this to me, 0-1 count, the Orioles throw a breaking ball 44% of the time in an 0-1 count with your top three pitchers. But that breaking ball includes curveball, knuckle curve, slow curve, slider, sweeper, slurve. Now, I'm pretty sure they all throw at least a slider, knuckle curve, and a curveball. So you're hitting all 3 of them. 44% of the time in an 0-1 count. That is game planning, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Teams know, okay, I get down 0-1, cool. If I didn't just drill you for a double in the first pitch, I'm down 0-1. Okay, well, now I can just sit on breaking ball because who cares if I get to 0-2?
Yeah.
They're literally hitting
staggering.
273 with a 545 slugging against you in an 0-1 count on those breaking balls.
You're throwing breaking balls 44% of the time.
44% of the time. That's insane.
Man. That's absolutely bananas to me.
Now, what's
so
weird
much.
is they're still throwing the fastball 42% of the time, but they've only thrown 116 combined. Now, so that number's a little bit different, but they're hitting 222 against that. Why? Because they're probably sitting breaking ball. It's like,
yeah. No, I mean that's the stuff.
It's crazy.
Like, Zach, if you're sitting here on the bat around on a Sunday night figuring this out, why have the Orioles not figured it out yet?
Maybe they don't have access to Baseball Savant.
Can you imagine?
I'm going to see what they do against other teams, right? So they are the second highest as a team in an 0-1 count to throw a breaking ball in an 0-1 count. So they are, as a team overall, the relievers included, 37.4%. It's the 3rd highest. So you can basically essentially say, in an 0-1 count, I'm probably going to see a breaking ball against the Orioles. Like, it just took me that fast to find that. Cincinnati and Washington are the only 2 teams above us at 38.1 and 39.9. Do you think we were sitting breaking ball at 0-1 count today? Or this series?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, I think the Orioles are always sitting fastball. Swing hard and hope. Today's show brought to you by County Sports Zone. We're well into spring sports season at the high school level. Remember that all year long you can find score schedules and updates for every sport and every school all throughout the state at countysports.zone. Countysports.zone is proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer. Zach, can you take over for a second?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yep. So, I mean, that's crazy to me. I'm going to see what their average is here on an 0-0 count, how often they throw a breaking pitch. They're one of the lowest in baseball. To 27.7%, which is, what's that, 39, 20, 27, 26th most in baseball, throwing a breaking pitch on an 0-0 count. Now, Washington, who's struggling, right, they're 44% of the time. And they're giving a 375 average on the first pitch, which is, it's crazy. The Orioles, now granted, they're one of the better ones in baseball, but they're still 282 on a breaking pitch on the first pitch. That's just, to me, that's got to be a game plan, man. I just don't get it. Fastballs, let's see what they're throwing fastballs first pitch. Holy crap, Boston's 79%. That's incredible. The Orioles are sixth most at 63.2% first pitch fastball. And they're giving up a 333 average, which is actually below league average, which is surprising. But their 576 slugging against that on first pitch is seventh most. So teams are, I don't get it, man. I think teams they know what to do. They know what to sit on. And at times, I don't think we switch it up enough. And guys are just sitting there. And it's easy. Like, you can hit the ball hard when you're guessing what's coming and you guess right. But when you at least have a 50-50 chance of guessing what's coming, God, baseball's really easy. And they've shown that against this pitching staff this year. I don't know. I don't know how you change that. I don't know how you look at that. Are they confident in throwing those? That's what I don't know. Because obviously other teams are doing it too, but I mean, we look at Washington and it's the only other team behind you really, and they're one of the worst in baseball. Like, change it up. Change something up.
So everybody keeps saying they focus too much on analytics. They focus too much on analytics. Every team focuses on analytics.
Like I said, when they were in St. Louis, their analytical model changed baseball forever, and it worked.
So the question is, like, we're saying it's too much reliance on analytics, but like, what evidence do we have to show that? We can say that because at the end of the day, we're all just trying to scratch and claw to figure out what the hell's going on with this team and why they're so much worse than they should be. You can't discount the fact that Jordan Westberg not being here hurts. That Jeremiah Jackson being an everyday player hurts. That Blaze Alexander being an everyday player hurts. You can't, and the fact that Colton Cowser has never figured it out. Like you can't discount that. You get after the 5 spot in the order.
Yeah.
And you're picking between Cowser, O'Neal, Mayo, Blaze, Jeremiah. Leody Taveras is having a decent year.
Yeah, I'd say a nice season.
But that's by comparison, right? I mean, we're talking about a guy's hitting 259 with 2 home runs.
Yeah.
You know, like, by comparison, he's doing a lot better than we expected him to do because everybody else sucks. Yeah. You know? Like 1 through 5, your order's great. 6 through 9, your order is kind of a joke. You know, and that's why, like, you see Kobe Mayo start to drive the baseball with authority in the last 10 days, and you're like, oh, well maybe, but I'm not doing it. I'm not getting sucked back in. They've got to rattle off 15 wins in 20 games for me to be like, yes, we're back. Of course, I say that if they go and take 2 or 3 from Tampa Bay, I'm like, let's go.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got to put the stone down somewhere and start stepping on it. So, I mean, take one game at a time at this point. Take one one pitch. I don't care, but you got to change something a little bit.
See, I like this. Laura said because nothing has changed when it comes to lineups. There's no playing the hot guys who are hitting consistently.
There's been a lot of change with the lineups.
I mean, they've only had the same one lineup be the same twice.
Right.
Right. My question is, and I know the answer before I ask it, do you maybe switch up who's in your top 5?
Yeah, 100%. They're not doing anything.
Right. So
they're 40-some games in.
So that, like, maybe Alonso bats 5th. and maybe Basayo bats fourth,
But
and maybe you
like,
move Adley down to sixth, and like Leote bats ninth. Like maybe
why
get a
not have
bat.
Adley lead off?
Well, and
He's
the
taking
thing is,
pitches.
it's been proven that Taylor Ward. I was listening to it on the radio show the other day. Taylor Ward's numbers are far and away better out of the two hole this year than leading off.
Cool. So
You
put
know,
Adley lead off.
badly lead off. Have Ward bat
Because Ward's
second.
not fast either, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Ward
and
takes good at bats. Adley takes good at bats, right? You could start the game off having all of a sudden this guy's thrown 12 pitches to or 15 pitches to two guys. Then if Gunnar swings at the first pitch, it's not a big deal. And like you asked before, has Ward overcompensated for Gunner's struggles? Yeah, when Gunner swings at the first pitch, Ward has to take 5 pitches at that point. Or pray to God he gets close to taking 5 pitches. Adley likes to, he will be aggressive a little bit after the first pitch, but I mean, the guy uses the whole field, right? He works counts. He does work walks. The barrel control this year is a lot better, in my opinion. But I do think Jackson Holiday giving you a more consistent player, you're going to play him every day, just about. So you don't have to worry about Blaze and Jackson or Jeremiah Jackson switching every so often, or Blaze and Mayo. It gives you one more consistent guy in the lineup, which is it's going to be a big deal. But they just need to leave the lineup freaking alone. Like, yes, you shuffle some guys around like in the order, but keep the same guys hitting in games. None of this. Jeremiah plays 2, Blaze doesn't play for 5, and then plays 3 in a row. Like, come on, man. Just put him out there. Let him play.
Do you think... I think that Taylor Ward is having the year that he's having because of where he's batting in the order. I think that he wants to see more... Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think he wants to see more pitches and get on base more because he wants to set the table. If he's the guy... If he's... Right. And if he's the guy that they're setting the table for, so if you move him to 4 and you move Alonso to 5 or vice versa, does the Orioles offense get better? Do you start seeing Taylor Ward drive the baseball more because he's in a position where now that's the expectation? I don't need you to walk in the 4 or 5 hole. I need you to drive the ball into the gap or over the fence.
Can I ask you a serious question? Now, granted, I think we were all ready for Grayson to move on from this team. We didn't trade for an old base guy. Like, are you? If he has a solid season where he only hits 10 home runs, right? But he has a 380 on base percentage. Are you pleased trading Grayson Rodriguez for that?
Because I'm not. Pitches like he did today.
I'm still not. I could have traded Grayson and I could have duped somebody else for a better ball player. You were brought here to drive in runs. Cool, you got a great on-base percentage. I wish more guys would do it. But you weren't brought here. You weren't given up 4 years control of a live arm. Granted, again, like I said, we all probably were ready to move on, but that's not the case here. It's 4 years of a starting pitching arm because you drove the ball in. You drove guys in. You hit with runners in scoring position. You hit the ball at the ballpark. I'm sorry. I didn't trade for you to come in here and have a 400 on-base percentage. I don't care. I let somebody else do that. In my opinion, I'm glad at least one guy's doing it, sure, but listen, we need some runs. We're scoring less than 3 runs a game 75% of the time this month. Okay, cool. It was fun while it lasted. Please start hitting the baseball.
So Taylor Ward last year, in the first month of the season, he had 6 home runs and 10 RBI, but he hit 189 with a 235 on base percentage and a 623 OPS. Then in May, 255, 317, 939, 10 homers, 7 doubles, and 28 RBI. I'm good with 255, 317 if you're getting 18 extra base hits in a month.
Yes. 100%.
I'm good with that. Well, I'm good with his July. 280, 365, 865 with 5 homers, 5 doubles, 21 RBI.
That's what I brought you here for.
Yeah. If you can give me what you gave me in July of last year, you put together 6 months of July, your average is up there. Your on base percentage, it's not 424, but it's 365. and you're a 30 homer, 100 RBI guy. That's why you're here.
Right.
Give me last July.
You're not getting paid this offseason as an on base guy.
No.
Let's be honest. You're just not.
Ask Jonathan Arise how
Right.
how much that's worked out for him.
Yeah.
Like, and he's got what, one double in the last month? I think he has one double since April 22nd. Like, give me last July. Hell, give me. I wanted to hit better than 211, but last August he hit 211, but had 366 on base percentage, a 799 OPS, and he had 5 home runs. I want better than 211 from the batting average, but 22 walks, 22 strikeouts that month.
Yeah. If you hit 240, 250, and you're hitting 5 home runs, you're driving in 15 guys a month, maybe 18. That's what I brought you here for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I know he got hit. He's starting to swing the bat a little bit better. I'm not complaining about Ward as a player because somebody has to do it. But I didn't trade 4 years of a starting pitcher for that.
Yes,
you could have just got somebody else.
AJ, yes, it's Luis Arraez. I think I called him, but the last name is Arraez.
It's Arraez. You said it right.
I called him Jonathan Arraez.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I called him Jonathan last week because I couldn't remember Luis. I took a stab in the dark. Jonathan sounded right. Maybe I'm thinking of the guy Arraez who played here for the Orioles. Wasn't his name Jonathan Arraez?
No, dude, we had so many bench guys. I don't remember. We had a lot of bench guys just in the last 3 years. I tell you what, the Orioles on those like little grid things over the last 3 seasons are going to make people rich. Just because, like, played one game and then played for Baltimore. Yeah, this guy right here. Yeah, he played one game. You know,
right? Man, I do need. I would love to see Taylor Ward start driving the baseball more. If you know, and I understand that he got hit in the hand by a pitch in April, and like I understand that.
Yeah.
And look, maybe there's something to that. Why he has become so passive at the plate because it was uncomfortable for him to swing. But he's like, look, I can still work a good at bat, foul some pitches off, and get on base. Maybe that's what's happened.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know. What I do know is that I didn't put the time down for that read. What I do know is that the offense has got to get better. The offense has got to get better. You can't just have the top 5 guys in the order be the ones producing and then hope that you get a good game from one of your bottom 4. It's got to get better. I think Jackson will help. I don't know how much he'll help because like it's hard to remember that the guy's only 22 years old because at this point you've had a year and a half at the big league level. And you're a 1-1 pick. Like, what's the point of you getting here in 2 years if you get here and you hit 240 with a sub 700 OPS?
I would just tell him, like, look, you need to understand that the power might not be there right away for most of this year. Go back to what you did in Norfolk. Mm-hmm. Look at pitches, foul them off, find a ball that you can drive to the left center field gap, hit me some doubles. That's all I need at Jackson Holiday.
And if Jackson Holiday is what Taylor Ward is right now, I'm great. I'm great with that.
100%. Yes.
Jackson Holiday being Taylor Ward right now, and Taylor Ward going back to being July Taylor Ward from last year.
Yeah.
Your offense is that much better.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. How much of this do you put on Craig Alvarez?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he makes the lineups at all.
I don't think he does. I really don't think he makes the lineups.
Now, I mean, the defensive stuff and the miscues and the mental errors, I think that you could probably say it could be on him. Mm-hmm. I think he was put obviously in a tough spot, and I think we were really high on him, and he probably should be. He was well regarded around the league. A lot of people wanted him. But I don't know if I like blame him for anything. I think he's doing fine for what he's given. I think some of the comments, obviously with him being pretty new, none of us like. But that's going to come with experience. So I don't read too much into it. It just sucks to hear sometimes. But like, I mean, look, Zach Eflin went down. Dean Kramer went down. Like Trevor Rogers has stunk. Bradish stunk. Baz has not been great. Like Bassett went 4 straight years of being pretty solid in this league. Stunks. Helsley's already went down. Started the year without Westbrook. Started the year without Holiday. Like Mayo hasn't panned out for him. Like Cowser fell off a cliff. Like, can I blame that on the manager?
No.
Right.
No. I
And
can blame.
I feel like he's done pretty well with some bullpen assignments. I think at times. I mean, we see Rico Garcia kind of used all over in big moments, and it's helped win games doing that instead of waiting until the 8th and 9th inning. And I think he's been using Cano in a good spot to keep him and his confidence up. So I think Nalbanez, with what he's been given and dealt so far this year, is done okay, pretty good.
How did you feel about Aiken getting the 7th inning yesterday?
I've never liked Aiken ever.
Yeah. But I told my buddy that the Orioles had made it 4-3. They had just scored 3 runs. And I was like, and immediately now it's 8-3 Nationals. He goes, was it Aiken? I was like, yeah. He's like, I knew it. I effing hate him.
Yeah.
When you've got Rico Garcia, who hasn't pitched in 5 days at that point, you've got Nunez, who hasn't pitched in 4, you've got Cano, who hasn't pitched in 4, you've got Wells, who hasn't pitched in 4 games. Like your best arms are all available. Why is it Keegan Aiken and Andrew Kittredge there?
Yeah.
That's
I mean, to be honest, you brought Kittredge back to be that guy.
Yeah. But he wasn't really that guy here. He was only that guy with the Cubs last year.
He was okay. I mean, I would say he had a good season here last year. It was like a 3 ERA.
Yeah.
It was below a 2 with the Cubs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think he had like a .89 whip for the year last year, .98 or something like that. Like something crazy.
He had a fairly decent year here last year, but again, he started the year on the injured reserve, right? Was that him with the knee?
Yeah.
Right?
It was in his he pitched 1 Grapefruit League game, and then warming up, the knee was bugging him, and then he didn't pitch again until May.
Right. So he started off slow, ended the year good. Like, I was excited to have him back. Like, you brought him back to be your 7th, 8th guy. Mm-hmm. So him being used there, I don't mind it. Like, that's why you're here, dude. But Aiken,
the bullpen
what
isn't.
Can you say?
Right. I mean, he's their worst reliever right now, and that's saying something. Because he was somebody that you were kind of counting on. Like, I know maybe you weren't counting on him, but he was somebody who had big league experience. He throws a lot of strikes. Like, you expect him to at least be what he's been, which is a guy who pitches to about 3.5 ERA, lets a lot of inherited runners score. Although last year he didn't.
Last year he wasn't used in high leverage spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's his thing. Like, I think Keegan Aiken can get this team through those games where they're down already 7-2 in the 5th or something like that. He comes in and he gets his 3 outs. Mm-hmm. And I think he's a quality arm for that role, because he typically, at least last year, wasn't allowing the game to get out of hand even worse. Like, he gave you an opportunity to kind of climb back in the game. That's all you could ask for. But when we've seen it for years now, when he gets into leverage spots, he doesn't perform. And I think we lost you on the audio there, Paul. You muted there. I saw the red light. There you go. Now there's a green light. But I don't know. Like, you don't have Grant Wolfram. Like, he's hurt again. Mm-hmm. They had another lefty that I think they just DFA'd the other day. Like, they don't have any other lefties.
Yeah, was it Walker that they DFA'd?
I think you switched over to your webcam microphone.
I was actually thinking earlier.
Earlier in this show, like, when I say earlier, like 10, 15 minutes ago, like, wow, we've gone this entire show and my microphone hasn't cut out once.
Stop thinking about these things.
Look, man, it's getting late. We got to start getting out of here. And I agree with Andrew Wortman here. Honestly, bullpen is the least of our problems. The biggest issue right now is that your starting pitching isn't doing you any favors. In my opinion, the offense. Like, I know that the offense isn't doing the starting pitching any favors, but at the same time, if your starting pitcher is going out there and it's Chris Bassey's giving up 4 runs in 5 innings,
right?
If the offense doesn't get off to a hot start, then they start pressing. It is wild thing to me that this team is so good at scoring late in games, but they can't score early.
Yeah.
And then today was the exact opposite. Like it's also wild to me how often this team gives up runs the next half inning after scoring.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible.
Like dental drill. What the hell are you talking about?
So Marty asked, "What's the deal with Kramer? I thought he was only on the 15-day IL. He's been out since 8." I think they said he's out for a while. He had a pretty significant hamstring thing, I believe.
Wasn't it a quad? I thought it was a quad.
It was a quad. Yeah, I forget which one it was, but I remember them saying it was fairly significant. He was going to miss a good amount of time.
Yeah, they did say that his arms that he's been throwing.
Yeah,
and I think he's.
Don't worry about other comments.
He won't stop playing with the mic. Sounds like he's.
If it's bad, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to sit back and be comfortable, but
you got to get you one of these.
Yeah, I had one. It's just it's old and it became a piece of crap. And
Get
I don't
this
feel
one
like...
here. It's $55 on Amazon, I think.
Okay,
I'll send you the link.
Okay. Now I lost my train of thought. With Kramer, they said that he's been throwing so to keep his arm strength up.
Yeah.
I think I've read that he's starting a throwing progression, but that was like a week ago. I don't know. I've been hearing that they're expecting him maybe mid-June, but I mean when you think about it, that's almost 2 months.
Yeah.
That's almost
and
2
that's,
months.
I would say at least four, maybe 5 minor league starts.
Yeah, like that's we aren't good enough for Kramer's services. At the end of the day, this is a comment that I'm taking away. This is a comment that I like here. Big boys need to play like big boys. Offense needs to come up early like today and set the tone. Do your job.
Most of the games they win, the offense sets the tone early.
Mm-hmm.
And then your micro mistakes that allow a run later aren't that big of a deal.
If Gunner's bat is turning around, and I don't think Gunner gets 4 hits without the bat turning around.
Yeah.
If Gunner's getting comfortable, if he's heating up with the warm weather, I think it makes your lineup is suddenly going to start to look a lot better, because you're not. It's not. I can't tell you how many times I turn on the game, maybe 2 minutes after first pitch, and it's already 1 out and Ward's up.
Dude, sometimes it's 1 pitch.
Yeah, like 4 hits today is a great sign from Gunner. I think that I think that if his bat is getting going, it's going to set the tone. What I really want to see, and I honestly don't believe it's going to happen. I don't believe it's going to happen. What I really want to see is Ward batting 4th or 5th.
Yeah,
I want to see him drop.
That's what he's brought here for.
Yeah, like I'm glad that you're getting on base, but if the guys behind you aren't driving you in, and if you're not stealing bases, I know that he said that he wants to steal more bases. You're not fast. You're not fast. So
you don't have to be fast to steal bases.
Right, but he's not fast and can't steal bases.
Yeah.
Like he's not a bad base runner, but he's not a guy who takes that extra bag, in my opinion. So for me, if you want to see Taylor Ward do what he was brought in here to do, put him in the position where that's what you need him to do.
Do you think Holiday kind of gives them that opportunity?
I do, if it's Holiday from the end of August, beginning of September last year.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a Holiday that we saw for the last 5 weeks of the year where he's taking more pitches, getting on base more, going the other way, then yes, I think he does. But I think the Holiday's got to earn his way back into that. Okay. And I also don't know that – I don't have a problem with asking Holiday to play third base because he's got a good glove, and if he's thinking less and he's just reacting to the baseball, his arm's strong enough to make the throw from third.
Right.
It's not strong enough to make the throw from the hole and short, but it's strong enough to make the throw from third. I don't have a problem with him playing third base. I have a problem with him moving to another new position if his bat hasn't gotten going yet.
Yeah, it's a confidence thing for me.
Yeah, 100%. Get confident in one aspect, and then once you're confident there, and I don't think that he lacks confidence either.
No, but you don't want to have
get comfortable.
Compound. Yeah. You don't want compounding at bats and you go out to defense and now all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. Like, you just want a guy to be at, like, if he's struggling at the plate, just go out there and just like, all right, you know what? I'm going to play good defense here. I'm going to help my team win. Right now, he's not comfortable at third. He's got a little bit more thinking to do, and it all really could snowball. It could go great or it could snowball.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. With the struggles at second base, maybe he was making the same thoughts out there too. Who knows? Maybe it is great for him. I don't know.
Yeah. Stanley, didn't Ward hurt his hand? Did I really? Yeah, he got hit by a pitch back in April, and he had to wear that hand guard thing. Apparently he just
Just lost you again. Still lost you. Yeah, he was saying something about how he had to wear the hand and stuff like that, or the pad on his hand. There you are. You're back.
Yeah, my middle screen froze, so I had to unplug everything and then plug it back in, and then I lost everything for a second. It's which is probably telling me that it's time to get out of here. Yeah,
we had a good conversation, hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
thank you to all that. I mean, you've been hanging around for a while.
Yeah, it's a good conversation because it's like enough's enough already, right? Yeah. Like the most eye-opening thing to me is you stating 0-1 curveball usage for your the top 3 guys in your rotation is 44%.
Yeah.
That Shane Baz is throwing a knuckle curve 0-1 40% of the time. That's a game plan issue. Like, yeah, we started to delve into that last week. It's a game plan issue.
Yeah.
You got to switch something. And I don't know how Drew French kept his job. I don't know how he kept his job, but he did.
From what I was told, he makes a lot of money. He was one of the highest paid pitching coaches, and they were going to give him a year.
Yeah. Well, your entire starting rotation has taken a step back this year after taking multiple steps back last year. I mean, Chris Bassett, I get it. He's 37. But, like, Charlie Ward was 41. It shouldn't be the same situation with Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett comes into this year with a 3.66 career ERA and can only give you a good start every 4 or 5 starts. Like, get out of here. He's got to be better. Today's show has been brought to you by Leading Edge Auto Body. Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, customer satisfaction comes first. Their team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. And they make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery. Find out more at leadingedgeautobody.com. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here for the night?
Nope. Just appreciate everybody. Excuse me. That's hung out with us the whole time and given us great comments to read and give us talking points and whatnot. I mean, we don't have a show without you guys. So again, thank you.
Yeah.
All of you.
Yeah.
From every platform.
Yeah. No, we really good baseball talk. Thanks, man. Thank you for tuning in. Laura said something similar. Great show, and it goes fast when talking Orioles baseball. It didn't feel like an hour and 45 minutes.
I thought we were like hitting 40 at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. So, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all of our sponsors that you don't have a show. Thank you to all of our loyal listeners. People that interact with the show. Without you, we 100% do not have a show. Until next week, see ya.